It's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. Glad to be back with you. And this has been an interesting few days for me. And I feel really blessed and happy. I thought I would tell you some of the things that have happened in the last week and the effects of that. So, one of the things that was going on was this year was my 50th high school reunion. And I've been looking so forward to that. In fact, I kept thinking that I was going to get to help, in working it out, but that every time they had a meeting, something happened and I didn't get to go. And so the people that worked on it, they did a beautiful job planning, and we had a really good show up of people. Now in our class, I think there were 67 kids, which is, as far as I know, the biggest graduating class from Riddle High School ever. And so I knew some kids better than other kids. And we have lost at least 12 of the classmates. And most of us went through first grade to 12th all together, so we really knew each other well. And when I got to go yesterday, it was so much fun. Now, everybody had a name tag, and it had our class picture. And if I knew where mine was right now, I would show you what I looked like when I was 18. But I don't have it right now. So some people, in fact, quite a few people, I needed a little bit of help figuring out who they were. I mean, it's been a long time. Some of these old friends I haven't seen in at least 49 years. That's a long time. So that I would ask them, can I see your name tag? And, then I would know. There were so many hugs. And I just want to tell you, as a widow, one thing that happens to you, and my husband didn't live here for the last 7 years, but I would see him the last few years every year. And so I would get a chance to be touched, hugged, and that doesn't happen hardly at all anymore. If I get to see my grandkids, I can get a hug, but I don't get to see them very often. There were hugs everywhere going on. It was really, really a blessing to me, because a person gets to miss being touched and being embraced. So it was really sweet and happy. We had barbecue. There were cheeseburgers and hot dogs, and somebody brought halibut. What a treat what that was. There was a delicious fruit salad, but if you know me at all, I could almost live exclusively on fruit. I love fruit. So there was a great fruit salad. There was a pasta salad. I didn't partake in that because pasta and I don't do so well together since my gastric bypass. I don't know, something about pasta tends to make me ill for a little while. But it looked very good. And then later on there were cupcakes. There were chocolate with chocolate frosting, and there was a strawberry, like a strawberry shortcake one, and there was a lemon meringue one, and that one was really probably my favorite. I'd never had one like it. They had baked vanilla cupcakes, and then they had injected lemon curd or lemon pudding inside them and topped them with meringue. And then I'm just imagining that they used a torch and browned up all the edges. Really, really good. Well, that is, if you love lemons and lemon meringue pie, which is one of my favorites. So that went on this week. Really happy, great, really a great show. There were some people that didn't show up, for various reasons. Some live a long ways away, and we missed them. And if you were one of them, just know you were missed. But if you were there, just know you are loved. Another thing that happened this week was we lost the water at our place again. So this is the time of year we pump from the river into our well, because with the repeated droughts we've had here in Southern Oregon, we just run out of water. It did not used to happen when I first moved until almost September. And so we would have about a month, and we didn't have to pump any water into the well. It would, begin spitting, but it would fill back up again by the next day, and we would be just fine. It doesn't do that now. So 20 years later, it doesn't do it. So now we have to pump it in. And this pump was old when we got the place. And I never was allowed to go down and help, which really, I got to tell you, I didn't want to do. But now it's just Jason and I. And so he did have somebody come and help one day, but it just didn't work. So I thought it was my fault that the pump had went out, but it wasn't. Now that the well ran out, that was my fault. But what happened was, from the pump, there's a pipe that goes to a foot valve that is in the river, and it's spliced. Now that's the way it's been ever since we've been here, and so just clamped together. But I mean, it barely overlaps. I mean, where I would like it to overlap a lot so you could really clamp it, it just doesn't. Of course, I never knew that. And so what happened was it blew apart, separated, and so water just began, spurting down the path, which, by the way, is extremely steep. And once it gets water on it, it's dirt, of course. We're thankful for where the rocks are, but it's a lot of dirt, so it's really, really slippery. And poured out. Now, Jason happened to be up in the middle of the night. This would have been maybe last Wednesday. And he noticed that the sprinklers weren't going. We have to run the sprinklers full time when we're running the river pump so that we don't burn it up. It has to have an outlet. So he noticed the sprinklers weren't going, so he went out and turned it off. But unbeknownst to him, I had left a garden hose hooked up to the house, and it was to a sprinkler to water the front part of the garden bed, the in-ground part, which I forgot I really shouldn't do because it pumps out from the well much quicker than water pumps into it. Anyhow, I forgot that. So in the morning, we had no water at all. The well was dry. The river pump was, turned off at that point. So he had somebody come, and they tried to help get it together, but it didn't work. So we were out of water for a while. Now, another thing that happened yesterday, after the reunion barbecue time, I went to my friend's house, Elaine and Tom, and I got to take a shower. That was really great. You know, if you don't have water, there's a lot of things that don't happen. And we only had water a little over 24 hours. And during that time, I had washed 5 small loads of laundry, I had ran the dishwasher, I had mopped part of the floor, and I thought I'll get my shower in the morning. Well, as I told you, in the morning we had no water. So I got to take a shower. That felt really good. And the neat thing about taking a shower when you're in town where you have city water, you have really great pressure, which is something we don't have, especially in my bathroom for some reason. It's a pretty weak stream of water that comes out. So I was getting like sandblasted in there. It was good. So that was another blessing. And it was also the Sawdust Jubilee in Riddle. So my friend invited me. She had another friend there named Debbie. And we all had tacos together. And then we watched the fireworks. First we watched the neighbors set off their fireworks. And I love that family. It's the Robbins family. And I bet there was 40 people there, maybe 45. They bring trailers because they got a vacant lot, and they just gather together, and they are so careful. They have a big container of water, and they have a garden hose. They wet down any dry grass. They watch everybody, and everybody's sitting out, young and old. I loved it. I loved it. After those were over, the city's fireworks went off, and I did a YouTube on those if you'd like to see them. For such a small town, they put out a beautiful fireworks show. Well, when I got home, this was yesterday, I could not sleep. I was just all wound up. I guess I was happy. So I was laying on the couch with the front door open to let in the cool breeze, and it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and I heard a chicken, squawking out there, which should not be happening at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I jumped up off of the couch, I called the dogs, and got them out as fast as I could so they could scare off what was ever bothering this chicken. And it was the mother hen who'd had 7 chicks. And I saw her. She was frantic out there. And I didn't know what was after her, but I knew that likely it would come back. So I caught her chicks. That was hilarious. It looked like a comedy show if you could have seen it. Me chasing them because I had to use a light, and then they can see and run. So they're jumping over my rock borders, and they were going around my car and up to my plum tree. They were just going everywhere, and I'm chasing after them. Well, I got the 3 babies in a 5-gallon bucket. And then it was time to get the mother hen, who was in a very bad mood by that time. So I got her. She was just squawking and screaming like I was killing her. And then the good thing happened. 1 more chick showed up. Good and not good too, because I couldn't put her in the bucket. She would just jump right out. So I had to hold her with one hand and catch the last baby with the other hand. But after a while I got it done, and I got them all put into the chicken house. Tonight then, the mother hen decided she was ready to go back into the chicken house and get up on the roost. The babies, though, they didn't know what they were doing. Now, they don't have to be with the mother anymore, really. They are completely feathered out. They are old enough, but they like to be with their mom. So they went in and then they came out. And they were running all amok, and squawking and crying for their moms. And I thought, oh man, I got to catch them again. Well, I came in to wait till it got a little bit darker because they don't see so well at night. And it was completely quiet. I went around the front of the house. I went around the back. I went around the chicken house. It was very, very quiet. So I looked in the chicken house, and much to my surprise, the mother hen was on the roost with her 4 remaining babies. Now this will be a pattern for them, and I won't have to worry about whatever predator was out there getting them in the night. Well, that's my update. Lots of blessings, so many things to be thankful for. I want to encourage you, think about the things that you can be thankful for this week. Maybe it started with something that was, not good, and then it was better. Now, I do want to say, before we went down to work on the river pump, I called my friend Drusy, and we always pray about things, and we prayed. And before I went out to catch those little chicks, we prayed again, and God answered prayers. He does for me, and He will for you. Well, I just want to say, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do. And hit that like button if you like that. You could even hit a down button if you didn't like it. But one of the best things you can do is leave me a comment and share my YouTube channel with a friend you think might like it. Well, it's Mary from Still Dreaming Homestead. I want to pray blessings on you and yours in your house and out of your house, in the day and the night, and whatever you do, keep dreaming. Good night. God bless you.